Chapter 7. The Tendency of the Subconscious Mind. Over 90% of your mental life is subconscious, so men and women who fail to make use of this marvelous power live within very narrow limits. Your subconscious processes are always lifeward and constructive. Your subconscious is the builder of your body and maintains all its vital functions. It is on the job 24 hours a day and never sleeps. It is always trying to help and preserve you from harm. Your subconscious mind is in touch with infinite life and boundless wisdom, and its impulses and ideas are always lifeward. The great aspirations, inspirations, and visions for a grander and nobler life spring from the subconscious. Your deepest convictions are those you cannot argue about rationally, because they do not come from your conscious mind. They come from your subconscious mind. Your subconscious speaks to you in intuitions, impulses, hunches, intimations, urges, and ideas, always telling you to rise, transcend, grow, advance, adventure, and move forward to greater heights. The urge to love, to save the lives of others, comes from the depths of your subconscious. For example, during the Great San Francisco Earthquake and Fire of April 18th, 1906, invalids and cripples who had been confined to bed for long periods rose up and performed some of the most amazing feats of bravery and endurance. Once the intense desire welled up within them to save others at all costs, their subconscious responded accordingly. Great artists, musicians, poets, speakers, and writers tune in with their subconscious powers and become animated and inspired. For example, Robert Louis Stevenson, before he went asleep, used to charge his subconscious with the task of evolving stories for him while he slept. He was accustomed to ask his subconscious to give him a good marketable thriller when his bank account was low. Stevenson said that the intelligence of his deeper mind gave him the story piece by piece, like a cereal. This shows how your subconscious will speak lofty and wise sayings through you, of which your conscious mind knows nothing. Mark Twain confided to the world on many occasions that he never worked in his life. All his humor and all his great writings were due to the fact that he tapped into the inexhaustible reservoir of his subconscious mind. The two systems may work separately or synchronously. Judge Thomas Troward says, "The vagus nerve passes out of the cerebral region as a portion of the voluntary system, and through it, we control the vocal organs. Then it passes onward to the thorax, sending out branches to the heart and lungs. Finally, passing through the diaphragm, it loses the outer coating which distinguishes the nerves of the voluntary system and becomes identified with those of the sympathetic system, forming a connecting link between the two and making man physically a single entity. Similarly, different areas of the brain indicate their connection with the objective and subjective activities of the mind, respectively. Speaking in a general way, we may assign the frontal portion of the brain to the former, and the posterior portion to the latter, while the intermediate portion partakes of the character of both. A simple way of looking at the mental and physical interaction is to realize that your conscious mind grasps an idea, which induces a corresponding vibration in your voluntary system of nerves. This, in turn, causes a similar current to be generated in your involuntary system of nerves, thus handing the idea over to your subconscious mind, which is the creative medium. This is how your thoughts become things. Every thought entertained by your conscious mind and accepted as true is sent by your brain to your solar plexus, the brain of your subconscious mind, to be made into your flesh and brought forth into your world as a reality. There is an intelligence that takes care of your body. When you study the cellular system and the structure of the organs such as the eyes, ears, heart, liver, bladder, etc., you learn they consist of groups of cells that form a group intelligence, whereby they function together, take orders, and carry them out to conduct the functions at the suggestion of the master mind, your conscious mind. A careful study of the single-celled organism shows you what goes on in your complex body. Though the unicellular organism has no organs, it still gives evidence of mind action and reaction, performing the basic functions of movement, elimination, assimilation, and reproduction. Many say there is an intelligence that will take care of your body if you leave it alone. That is true, but the difficulty is that the conscious mind often interferes with its five-sense evidence based on outer appearances, leading to the sway of false beliefs, fears, and mere opinions. When fear, false beliefs, and negative patterns are made to register in your subconscious mind through psychological and emotional conditioning, there is no other course open to the subconscious mind except to act on the blueprint, specifications offered to it. The interaction of your conscious and subconscious mind requires a similar interaction between the corresponding systems of nerves. The cerebral spinal system is the organ of the conscious mind, and the sympathetic system is the organ of the subconscious mind. The cerebral spinal system is the channel through which you receive conscious perception by means of your five physical senses and exercise control over the movement of your body. This system has its nerves in the brain, and it is the channel of your volitional and conscious mental action. The sympathetic system, sometimes referred to as the involuntary nervous system, has its center in a ganglionic mass at the back of the stomach known as the solar plexus. It is sometimes spoken of as the abdominal brain. This system is the channel of that mental action which unconsciously supports the vital functions of the body. The two systems may work separately or synchronously. Judge Thomas Troward says, the vagus nerve passes out of the cerebral region as a portion of the voluntary system, and through it we control the vocal organs. Then it passes onward to the thorax, sending out branches to the heart and lungs. Finally, passing through the diaphragm, it loses the outer coating which distinguishes the nerves of the voluntary system and becomes identified with those of the sympathetic system, thus forming a connecting link between the two and making the man physically a single entity. Similarly, different areas of the brain indicate their connection with the objective and subjective activities of the mind, respectively. In general terms, we may assign the frontal portion of the brain to the former and the posterior portion to the latter, while the intermediate portion partakes of the character of both. A simple way of looking at the mental and physical interaction is to realize that your conscious mind grasps an idea, which induces a corresponding vibration in your voluntary system of nerves. This, in turn, causes a similar current to be generated in your involuntary system of nerves, thus handing the idea over to your subconscious mind, which is the creative medium. This is how your thoughts become things. Every thought entertained by your conscious mind and accepted as true is sent by your brain to your solar plexus, the brain of your subconscious mind, to be made into your flesh and to be brought forth into your world as a reality. There is an intelligence which takes care of your body. When you study the cellular system and the structure of organs such as the eyes, ears, heart, liver, bladder, etc., you learn they consist of groups of cells which form a group intelligence. This allows them to function together, take orders, and carry them out at the suggestion of the mastermind, the conscious mind. A careful study of single-celled organisms shows you what goes on in your complex body. Though the monocellular organism has no organs, it still gives evidence of mind action and reaction, performing the basic functions of movement, assimilation, and elimination. Many say there is an intelligence that will take care of your body if you leave it alone. That is true, but the difficulty is that the conscious mind always interferes with its five-sense evidence, based on outer appearances, leading to the sway of false beliefs, fears, and mere opinion. When fear, false beliefs, and negative patterns are made to register in your subconscious mind through psychological and emotional conditioning, there is no other course open to the subconscious mind except to act on the blueprint, specifications offered to it. A young man who attended my lectures on the healing power of the subconscious mind had severe eye trouble, which his doctor said necessitated an operation. He said to himself, "My subconscious made my eyes, and it can heal me." Each night, as he went to sleep, he entered into a drowsy, meditative state, akin to sleep, His attention was immobilized and focused on the eye doctor. He imagined the doctor was in front of him, and he plainly heard, or imagined he heard, the doctor saying to him, "A miracle has happened." He repeated this over and over again, every night for perhaps 5 minutes or so before going to sleep. At the end of 3 weeks, he went back to the ophthalmologist who had previously examined his eyes, and the physician said to this man, "This is a miracle. What happened?" This man impressed his subconscious mind, using the doctor as an instrument or means of convincing it. Through repetition, faith, and expectancy, he impregnated his subconscious mind. His subconscious mind made his eye. Within it was the perfect pattern, and immediately it proceeded to heal the eye. This is another example of how faith in the healing power of your subconscious can make you whole. Pointers to review. 1. Your subconscious is the builder of your body and is on the job 24 hours a day. You interfere with its life-giving patterns by negative thinking. 2. Charge your subconscious with the task of evolving an answer to any problem before sleep, and it will answer you. 3. Watch your thoughts. Every thought accepted as true is sent by your brain to your solar plexus, your abdominal brain, and brought into your world as a reality. 4. Know that you can remake yourself by giving a new blueprint to your subconscious mind. 5. The tendency of your subconscious is always lifeward. Your job is to feed your subconscious mind with premises that are true. Your subconscious is always reproducing according to your habitual mental patterns. 6. You build a new body every 11 months. Change your body by changing your thoughts and keeping them changed. 7. It is normal to be healthy. It is abnormal to be ill. There is an innate principle of harmony within you. 8. Thoughts of jealousy, fear, worry, and anxiety tear down and destroy your nerves and glands, bringing about mental and physical diseases of all kinds. 9. What you affirm consciously and feel is true will manifest in your mind, body, and affairs. Affirm the good and enter into the joy of living. Chapter 8. How to get the results you want. The principal reasons for failure are lack of confidence and too much effort. Many people block answers to their prayers by failing to fully comprehend the workings of their subconscious mind. When you know how your mind functions, you gain a measure of confidence. You must remember that whenever your subconscious mind accepts an idea, it immediately begins to execute it. It uses all its mighty resources to that end and mobilizes all the mental and spiritual laws of your deeper mind. This law is true for both good and bad ideas. Consequently, if you use it negatively, it brings trouble, failure, and confusion. When you use it constructively, it brings guidance, freedom, and peace of mind. The right answer is inevitable when your thoughts are positive, constructive, and loving. From this, it is perfectly obvious that the only thing you have to do in order to overcome failure is to get your subconscious to accept your idea or request by feeling its reality now, and the law of your mind will do the rest. Turn over your request with faith and confidence, and your subconscious will take over and answer for you. You will always fail to get results by trying to use mental coercion. Your subconscious mind does not respond to force, responds to your faith or conscious mind's acceptance. Your failure to get results may also arise from statements such as, "Things are getting worse," "I will never get an answer," "I see no way out," "It is hopeless," or "I don't know what to do," "I'm all mixed up." When you use such statements, you get no response or cooperation from your subconscious mind. Like a soldier marking time, you neither go forward nor backward. In other words, you don't get anywhere. If you got into a taxi and gave the driver half a dozen different directions in 5 minutes, he would become hopelessly confused and probably refuse to take you anywhere. It is the same when working with your subconscious mind. There must be a clear-cut idea in your mind. You must arrive at the definite decision that there is a way out, a solution to the vexing problem or sickness. Only the infinite intelligence within your subconscious knows the answer. When you come to that clear-cut conclusion in your conscious mind, your mind is then made up, and according to your belief, it is done unto you. Easy does it. A house owner once reprimanded the furnace repairman for charging $200 for fixing the boiler. The mechanic said, "I charge 5 cents for the missing bolt and $199.95 for knowing what was wrong." Similarly, your subconscious mind is the master mechanic, the all-wise one who knows ways and means of healing any organ of your body as well as your affairs. Decree health, and your subconscious will establish it. But relaxation is the key. Easy does it. Do not be concerned with details and means, but know the end result. Get the feeling of the happy solution to your problem, whether it is health, finances, or employment. Remember how you felt after you recovered from a severe illness. Bear in mind that your feeling is the touchstone of all subconscious demonstration. Your new idea must be felt subjectively as a finished state, not in the future but as happening now. Use imagination, not willpower. In using your subconscious mind, do not use willpower. Instead, you use imagination. Imagine the end and the freedom state. You will find your intellect trying to get in the way, but persist in maintaining a simple, childlike, miracle-making faith. Picture yourself without the ailment or problem. Imagine the emotional accompaniment of the freedom state you crave. Cut out all the red tape from the process. The simple way is the best. How disciplined imagination works wonders. A wonderful way to get a response from your subconscious mind is through disciplined or scientific imagination. As previously pointed out, your subconscious mind is the builder of the body and controls all its vital functions. The Bible says, "Whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive." To believe is to accept something as true or to live in the state of being it. As you sustain this mood, you shall experience the joy of the answered prayer. The 3 steps to success in prayer. The usual procedure is as follows. 1. Take a look at the problem. 2. Turn to the solution or way out known only to the subconscious mind. 3. Rest in a sense of deep conviction that it is done. Do not weaken your prayer by saying, "I wish I might be healed," or "I hope so." Your feeling about the work to be done is the boss. Harmony is yours. Know that health is yours. Become intelligent by becoming a vehicle for the infinite healing. Power of the subconscious mind. Pass on the idea of health to your subconscious mind to the point of conviction. Then relax. Get yourself off your hands. Say to the condition and circumstance, "This too shall pass." Through relaxation, you impress your subconscious mind, enabling the kinetic energy behind the idea to take over and bring it into concrete realization. The law of reversed effort and why you get the opposite of what you pray for. Émile Coué, the famous psychologist from France, who visited America about 40 years ago, defined the law of reversed effort as follows. When your desires and imagination are in conflict, your imagination invariably gains the day. For example, if you were asked to walk a plank on the floor, you would do so without question. Now, suppose the same plank were placed 20 feet up in the air between 2 walls. Would you walk it? Your desire to walk it would be counteracted by your imagination or fear of falling. Your dominant idea, which would be the picture of falling, would conquer your desire. Will or effort to walk on the plank would be reversed, and the dominant idea of failure would be reinforced. Mental effort is invariably self-defeating, eventually always leading to the opposite of what is desired. The suggestions of powerlessness to overcome the condition dominate the mind. Your subconscious is always controlled by the dominant idea. It will accept the strongest of 2 contradictory propositions. The effortless way is better. If you say, "I want healing, but I can't get it. I try so hard. I force myself to pray. I use all the willpower I have," you must realize that your error lies in your effort. Never try to compel the subconscious mind to accept your idea by exercising willpower. Such attempts are doomed to failure, and you will get the opposite of what you prayed for. A common experience is when students, taking examinations and reading through their papers, find that all their knowledge has suddenly deserted them. Their minds become appallingly blank, and they are unable to recall one relevant thought. The more they grit their teeth and summon the powers of the will, the further the answers seem to flee. But when they have left the examination room and the mental pressure relaxes, the answers they were seeking flow tantalizingly back into their minds. Trying to force themselves to remember was the cause of their failure. This is an example of the law of reversed effort, whereby you get the opposite of what you ask or pray for. The conflict of desire and imagination must be reconciled. To use mental force is to presuppose that there is opposition. When your mind is concentrated on the means to overcome a problem, it is no longer concerned with the obstacle. Matthew 18 verse 19 says, "If two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven." Who are these two? It means the harmonious union, or agreement between your conscious and subconscious on any idea, desire, or mental image. When there is no longer any quarrel in either part of your mind, your prayer will be answered. The two agreeing may also be represented as you and your desire, your thought and feeling, your idea and emotion, your desire and imagination. You avoid all conflict between your desires and imagination by entering into a drowsy, sleepy state, which brings all effort to a minimum. The conscious mind is submerged to a great extent when in a sleepy state. The best time to impregnate your subconscious is prior to sleep. The reason for this is that the highest degree of outcropping of the subconscious occurs prior to sleep and just after we awaken. In this state, the negative thoughts and imagery, which tend to neutralize your desire and so prevent acceptance by your subconscious mind, no longer present themselves. When you imagine the reality of the fulfilled desire and feel the thrill of accomplishment, your subconscious brings about the realization of your desire. A great many people solve all their dilemmas and problems by the play of their controlled, directed, and disciplined imagination, knowing that whatever they imagine and feel is true will and must come to pass. The following will clearly illustrate how a young girl overcame the conflict between her desire and her imagination. She desired a harmonious solution to her legal problem, yet her mental imagery was constantly on failure, loss, bankruptcy, and poverty. It was a complicated lawsuit, and there was one postponement after another with no solution in sight. At my suggestion, she got into a sleepy, drowsy state each night prior to sleep, and she began to imagine the happy ending, feeling it to the best of her ability. She knew that the image in her mind had to agree with her heart's desire. Prior to sleep, she began to dramatize, as vividly as possible, her lawyer having an animated discussion with her regarding the outcome. She would ask him questions, and he would answer her appropriately. He would say to her over and over again, "There has been a perfect harmonious solution. The case has been settled out of court." During the day, when fear-filled thoughts came into her mind, she would run her mental movie, complete with gestures, voice, and sound effects. She could easily imagine the sound of his voice, his smile, and his mannerisms. She replayed this mental picture so often that it became a subjective pattern, like a regular train track. After a few weeks, her attorney called her and confirmed objectively what she had been imagining and feeling is true subjectively. The case had been settled out of court with a harmonious solution. This is what the psalmist meant when he wrote, "Let the words of my mouth, your thoughts, mental images, good, and the meditations of my heart, your feelings, nature, emotions, be acceptable in thy sight. O Lord, the law of your subconscious mind, my strength and my redeemer." The power and wisdom of your subconscious mind can redeem you from sickness, bondage, and misery. Psalm 19 verse 14. Ideas worth recalling. A mental coercion or too much effort reveals anxiety and fear, which block your answer. Easy does it. But when your mind is relaxed and you accept an idea, your subconscious goes to work to execute it. Think and plan independently of traditional methods. Know that there is always an answer and a solution to every problem. Do not be overly concerned with the beating of your heart, the breathing of your lungs, or the functions of any part of your body. Lean heavily on your subconscious and frequently proclaim that divine right action is taking place. The feeling of health produces health. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. How do you feel? Imagination is your most powerful faculty. Imagine what is lovely and of good report. You are what you imagine yourself to be. You avoid conflict between your conscious and subconscious in the sleepy state. Imagine the fulfillment of your desire over and over again before sleep. Sleep in peace and wake in joy.